Just gathering myself and my thoughts. So, hey everyone, welcome back to our channel. We're so glad that you're here today. It's been a minute since our last video, so I wanted to come on here today and talk about some things that have been weighing heavy on my mind and my heart, and that's part of the reason why it took so long for me to do this. About a month or two ago, there was a YouTube family much bigger than my own family as far as presence on YouTube is concerned. There was a lot trending around their family in relation to adoption, special needs, and parenting. And at that time, I looked into the story and kind of got to know a little bit more about it. And I shared the story with members of my family, just, letting them know what was going on, because it was one of those things that I had never heard of happening before. And so I just thought it was interesting to share it. And I had shared it with Hamlet, which is my husband. And you guys should know that if you're a natty. If you're not, subscribe to our channel now. Oh no, shameless plug, sorry. Anyways, I had shared it with my husband, and at the time he was still at sea on the ship.
Yes, how are you guys doing? So, I'm still at sea. So my wife just brought to my attention about a famous YouTuber named Myka or Myka. I don't really know her name. I don't know much about them. That they adopted a child with disability, and they know that the child had the disability before they adopted the child. And they had the child for maybe like about 2 years, I don't know, and then they give away the child, or they say they are rehoming the child. No, that don't sound right at all to me, knowing that these people have what it takes to take care of the child. I don't think they should have rehomed the child. Having a special needs child is a lot of work. And we have it hard as special needs parents, because I'm away from my family for maybe like sometimes 7 months, and then my wife have that, big monumental task on her hand just to take care of Lourdes. But she do it with such a love and compassion that sometimes, it just makes my heart melt. So I'm saying that our special needs child is a handful. It is a lot of sacrifice, a lot of hard work, but we have come to the conclusion that a child is a heritage and a blessing from God. And our special needs child, Lord, is a blessing. And we're not going to trade Lourdes for nothing. For nothing. We're not going to trade her. Because we know one of these days, our child is going to be a great blessing to many. So Myka, Myka, whatever your name is, I'm saying this to let you know that that child was a blessing to you. And you give away a great blessing. And I hope that you will rethink what you did, because it is not a good picture out here that you guys are showing. They are all a blessing. And it's up to you as parent how you grow and, a matter of fact, just parent your child. The way you parent your child, it's just up to you. And knowing that you guys have the resources, everything, the money, everything to take care of a child, you guys, I don't know, man. It kind of just breaks my heart. But we have a special needs child, and we love our child. We'll never trade our child for nothing. So.
And he was moved by it in a way that he thought that I should say something to that family, and that's what I'm here to do today. I am not here to judge anybody, because I, for one, am a person who does not like or appreciate any form of judgment. I'm a person who likes to hear uplifting words, and I like support, and I like to support and inspire others. That is me all day long. If some reason that family ever lays eyes on this video, or for any other family out there that lays eyes on this video, I want you to know I'm coming from a place of love, support, and inspiration. That's it. I'm not coming here to be negative or judge anybody. It's wrong, and it's just not me. It's not my thing. We have a special needs child. If you are subscribed to this channel, again, if you are a Nettie and you know my family, or you know me personally, then you know about Lourdes. You know that Lourdes was born 2 months early. She spent 4 months living in the NICU. She, as a result of her brain injury that she experienced at some point throughout the development process, or maybe the birth, she resulted in having cerebral palsy. Everybody who knows us knows that. And she also suffered a few other things that made it very difficult to take care of her in the beginning, and sometimes still to this day. She has some other anatomical issues with her breathing. She was able to be treated before birth to be able to have the proper lung capacity, but she ended up with some upper airway stuff. Basically, with the opening of her nostrils to the back of her throat, those things didn't develop properly. So she was a child that we initially brought home on oxygen. And so she was a child that could not handle her secretions, meaning she could not handle her saliva and mucus. And so it was a lot of suctioning involved when she was a small child. And also, these things made her an unsafe eater by mouth. So she was 100% tube fed from probably 2 months or 3 months old up until last year, you guys. Last year, September 2019 was the last time Lourdes used her G-tube. However, she used a G-tube for 5 years, either with a pump or by bolus, meaning I would be the one that physically pushed the food into her stomach. So we've been there. We understand how this goes. Or I'm going to say this, I've been there more than anybody. I have. So I understand how hard this is. And I understand how hard the journey is, because also saying that, Lourdes also is still not walking. She earlier this year had bilateral tendon surgery to be able to get her feet that turned more inward, more at a neutral position. And she's also possibly going to have hip surgery at maybe around the fall time of this year, because she has a hip out of socket. So that's another journey that we're on, is trying to get her up on her feet. But I just wanted to give you guys a quick summary of her life. And if you've never seen her story, Lourdes' life, I'll link it up above, because I do have a small video that I made kind of outlining, I would say, the first up to maybe not even a year, but I outlined like the beginning of her life, so you can understand our journey when we were in NICU and things like that. So and we have videos all over this channel just showing her, and you can see how she looks and how she's progressed. But that's the main thing, she has progressed. So to that family, I have not even mentioned their name yet. It is Myka Stafford, or Myka Stafford. It's the Stafford family. That's who I'm talking about. And the child that they adopted, that special needs, his name was Huxley, if you're not familiar with this family. And so that's what I'm here to talk about today, is the Stafford family and special needs parenting, and the messaging behind their decision to adopt a child with special needs abroad. First of all, I want to say to you, Myka, I am not judging you again. I don't know where your head was and where your heart was before you adopted him, throughout the process of having him, and in the decision in rehoming him. I don't know any of those things. What I do know is parenting is hard as a whole. It doesn't matter if your kid is typical or not typical. It is difficult. You are truly responsible for creating a functional human being that can contribute to society in the best way possible. And there's so many times and so many ways that you can stray from that. And I get that. I do. I will say this. having Lourdes is the best thing that has ever happened to me. The difference between me and you is Lourdes, I birthed her. You adopted Huxley, but he was still your child. When you took on the role of going through that process and doing whatever you had to do, going all the way to another country to get him, that's your son. That's your son. When you adopt somebody, that is your child. And so I don't even want to make a difference in our lives there, because that was your son, or that's your son. If I knew then what I know now about Lourdes, I still would have taken her the same exact way that she is now. I did not have a lot of opportunity to prepare for what was to happen. All I know is I had her 2 months early, and she had a brain injury at some point, and we didn't know what was going to come of that, and that was scary. And I spent over 100 days with her in NICU. That was scary. And every day somebody came in, a new doctor would come in every 2 weeks, because they did rotations. They did rotations. That was scary, because one doctor would see one thing and another one would see something else. One doctor was optimistic, some not so much. And so that process was scary, and I was by myself. That was super scary. My child wasn't eating by mouth. That was scary. I had to watch her airway be dilated 5 different times, and she was intubated. That was scary. She had moments where she was about to get out, and then they changed their mind. That was scary for me. All of those things were scary for me. I had to learn how to use a G-tube. I had to learn how to use a suction device. I had to learn how to use an oxygen tank. I had to learn how to use a pulse ox. I had to learn how to use a blood pressure cuff. I had to basically go to nursing school without any pay. And that was hard. And I did that by myself. So I know how difficult this may be. You had a support system because you had your partner, your person was there. Your person was there to help you see you through anything challenging. And another thing you had was you had knowledge of what was likely to happen and Huxley's diagnosis. And so had I had that, it wouldn't have changed anything, but maybe I could have prepared better, because a lot of days I felt unprepared and I felt like I was winging it, but I did it out of love. And so with me doing that helped Lourdes. She felt that. She knew that I was trying my hardest, and to this day I'm still trying my hardest. And I'll tell you something, these days are not easy for me. This is my sole and only job right now, is to take care of her. And there's a lot of days where I want to give up, and I want to be by myself, and I want to quit, and I want a break, and I want people to appreciate me, and I want people to understand where I'm coming from. And ultimately, I want a typical life for her. I want her to be able to run with everybody else, and play with everybody else, and eat with everybody else, and talk with everybody else, and grow with everybody else. And I want her to do all of those things. But she doesn't do all those things in a typical way. And that's fine. It's what makes her who she is today. And I love her for that. I wouldn't trade that baby for nothing. I wouldn't. She is literally the best thing that has happened to my life. I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to cry. She literally is the best thing that has ever happened to me. She is the best person that has crossed paths with me. She literally is the love of my life. She is so kind. She's gentle. She's humble. She's grateful. She's loving. She's sharing. She's caring. And she's so influential. She's so influential. She can come into a room and change the whole mood. She can change the whole vibe. It's something about that girl. She's gifted. And I'm glad she's mine. I'm glad she chose me to be her mommy. And that's what's important to me. That's what keeps me going every day. I know that that soul chose me to be her mommy. And I'm trying my best to make her proud of the job that I have been selected to do. Because for her to pick me, a person who was quick to anger, a person who says what she wants to say, a person who sometimes felt like the victim, a person who was learning her own way, a person that had been broken down by so many other people, for her to still choose me, it speaks volumes to me to this day. It has cultivated so much in my life and turned so many things around just to parent Lourdes. So I know it was hard for you. I know it was. But it doesn't mean that it could not have been rewarding, because it could have been if you would have just given it a chance. And again, I don't know your heart and I don't know your mind. And I'm sorry that you had to make that type of decision or spend more time seeing it through, because maybe you felt like that time was up with that, and that's okay. I think the best thing for you to do right now is to come clean and just apologize, because I think at the end of the day, what we don't want to do, especially when we have such an influence and such a big platform, is send the wrong message. There's so many people out there that want kids, that cannot have kids, can't adopt for whatever reason. Maybe it's financial, maybe they don't have the resources, maybe they don't have the knowledge of it, maybe they don't have the drive. I don't know what it is, but there's so many people that did not have the luxury of being able to do what you were able to do and capture on camera. And I think that we have to remember those things when we're making choices in life, especially when there's a camera on us and people are watching our every move and admiring what we do. We cannot send out the wrong message to people. We cannot make them think that adopting a child is just like making a purchase at a store and you can return it if it doesn't fit your lifestyle. It is not what we need to send out. And I think that's the main thing that I can say. From one special needs mom to a former special needs mom, just apologize and let people know that, you know what, yes, there's a lot of things I can do in this situation I couldn't. And some people will be forgiving, some will be not so forgiving. And you can't worry about those people. But as long as your heart is pure and your mind is pure, I think that it will be easier. It will be easier to move forward. I really, really do. And out of all the things that I mentioned earlier about Lourdes, what I would like for her to do, or the things that I feel like I miss out on, like being able to hang out with my friends, being able to sleep in, being able to come and go as I please, being able to just go on vacation by myself, not worry about packing all these medical supplies, or being able just to have the freedom that I had before having a special needs child. I miss all of those things. I really, really do. Like, so many things got put literally to a halt when I had Lourdes. I'm talking about talking to people, being able to go meet up with people. There's so many things that changed in my life when I had Lourdes. And I had a hard time navigating through those changes. It made me sad that I had to do that. But you know what? One thing that I had to remember, I gotta do it. I gotta do it no matter what. She is mine. I am hers. She is the light of my life. She is the best thing that happened to me. And all I can tell you, from one special needs mom to another, apologize, accept the responsibility, hold yourself accountable. Make sure that you make peace with your higher power and your family. Keep living. Keep doing the best that you can, and just make sure that people know that your intentions were good and pure. So y'all, I'm on my way to pick up Lourdes from Special Kids. Look, got my Special Kids shirt on today because those are special people. I did not mention them in the video one time when I was just recording, and I should, because it truly takes a village. It's not just one person, but it takes a village to raise a child. It takes a special village to raise a special needs child. So shout out to Special Kids. I love them. If it were not for them, we would not be halfway where we are today. I just thought about something when I was creating the thumbnail for this video, because usually I will create a thumbnail after I record, especially if the thumbnail is not embedded in the video, like I don't take it from the video itself. And since this video was just like a sit down, like talk to you guys, I didn't have a thumbnail, so I had to create one. And so in creating that thumbnail, I looked at Myka I looked at Huxley, and Huxley looks like he's in agony. He looks unhappy. He looks frustrated. And you know what? One side of this that we have not considered, and that thumbnail made me consider, is maybe the Staffords family, and let me apologize because I kept calling them something else. Maybe the Staffords family did Huxley a favor. Maybe Huxley was ready to go. Maybe they were experiencing certain behaviors and actions from Huxley because he was frustrated with them and didn't want to be with them. If a kid is nonverbal or has a difficult time communicating, then you're going to see that through their actions and how they respond to you. And if you notice in the thumbnail how Lourdes responds to me, she always hugs and kisses on me. She hugs and kisses on everybody that gives her good vibes and good feelings. So maybe that's what we should consider. We should consider the fact that they maybe have done Huxley a favor, and we're looking at it from a different point of view when we should consider that point of view. We're pointing the finger at Myka and saying, you should have did this, you should have did that, and you need to be sorry for this and that, and that. And she does need to be sorry for sending the wrong message. I don't think she needs to be sorry for adopting Huxley, because it hopefully has put him in the best situation possible. And also, everything happens for a reason. Like, he had to have that experience and she had to have that experience for whatever those reasons may be. So I'm not going to say she needs to apologize for adopting him, because, you know, again, that was purpose behind that. But I will say that perhaps she did Huxley a favor based on how he was responding to her and to her family, and how he was not responding. So let's consider that. That's the thing that I think we all need to work on as a people, as a whole, as a society, in humanity. We don't need to be quick to judge and jump on people. We need to consider all the possibilities, because we don't know. We don't live in those people's house. We don't know. It's the police, guys. I gotta put the phone down. We don't know what these people go through on a day-to-day basis. We don't know. We don't know their experience. We don't know. I mean, you out here now, so just go. Sorry, now I'm talking to somebody in traffic. We don't know anything, so we have to go into these things without judgment and just, you know, try to go out of love and support. So that's what I'll say to that. I wanted to just add that to this video because I feel like I did not address that in the beginning. And another thing that I didn't address is me being by myself. For obvious reasons, I was by myself throughout some of those processes. For example, when Lourdes was in the hospital, her daddy was at sea, didn't prepare for her to be born early. And the whole time that I was home with my mom and my daughter. So I had some help, but I'm not gonna say they were 100%. I'm not gonna lie to y'all. Like, I feel like at the end of the day, I still am the sole caregiver to Lourdes. Yeah, they know some things and I can leave her with them sometimes, but it's not like 100%, you know, caregiving coming from any of my other family members. They do what they can and what their life allows them to do. And I'll just say this: no matter how much I want to quit, no matter how much I want to stop, I don't have time to get sick, nor do I even have time to die. I have to take care of Lourdes. That is my job. My goal is to get her to be as self-sufficient, functional, with plenty of dignity when she becomes a young adult. And I will put my stuff second until we get her there. And that, you guys, is the end of this video.